Good morning, everybody. Okay, so here we go. Oh, there we go. There's one camera on. Let's get the next one going. Okay, so good morning. Alrighty, so we're going to do a couple things here. And yeah, so we're going to make some stuff and talk about some fun things. Hey Jane, good morning. Hi. Oh my gosh, I hope everybody had a good weekend. So yeah, so I keep moving around to see where I am. Okay, so I am live. Yes, that's awesome. Looking around here, make sure the cameras are all going. I just took my laptop in to get it fixed, and it's just twirling around and twirling around. And yeah, not much is going on there, so I might have to take it back. Okay, so we're gonna do it's gonna be like a twist on deviled eggs, but with no eggs, of course. So I have chickpeas here, and you can use I was going to use those yellow peas that I bought that I told you guys about a while. Hey, Monique, hi, how you doing? Nice to see you this morning. So, so I was going to use the yellow peas that I had, but I overcooked them. So it's always good to have a can of chickpeas in a can. I do also have them dried, which is even better if you can buy the dried chickpeas or garbanzo beans, and then soak them and rinse them and soak them and rinse them like you would any other bean to get rid of the lectins. Then you really should. It's much more inexpensive to buy the dried beans and do that with them. But anyway, so what I've done here is I did, because my peas were overcooked and they kind of went straight to mush, so it's harder to show you how to mush them when they're already mushed. So these are the chickpea garbanzo beans. I did rinse them, took them out of the can. I did rinse them. So I always rinse again, because again, you want to get rid of the lectins. So the lectins are what, oh wow, that's scary. Anyways, seeing me on a bigger screen must be really scary. So yeah, so the lectins are the ones, the indigestible, oh gosh, I can't remember the chemistry on it, but anyways, the lectins are what creates the gas and the bloating, and it's an indigestible part of the plant. It's like the outer shell of the plant that protects itself from being overeaten or over. Each plant will have its own protective thing in it that if, or at least most plants, that if you eat too much of it, you're not going to feel good. And that's part of the protective mechanism for the plant to not be over, going extinct or overeaten or whatever, for animals too. Like for the animals eating them as well, there's usually something that will make you stop eating too much of one thing. I mean, since we're in the in civilization and society, I think we kind of lost that switch with all the processed foods. We don't really have that off switch that we ate too much of something, unless we really ate too much of something. Anyway, so that's that conversation. So we have them here. I'm going to start mashing them down, and you know what? I'm going to put them in the Vitamix, and that's a way better idea. I always try and do things, without, I mean, there's going to maybe be times when we don't have electricity. I always like to try and do things the old-fashioned way, but, I concede I'm going to be boring you guys like crazy. And also, I forgot to bring the water over here, so I will grab that, and we'll just whip these up real quick so that you aren't just sitting there watching me yap away while we do the chickpeas. So we're gonna add just a little bit of water here. We will put this in the Vitamix. I do like using, regular tools, because some people may not even have a blender, right? So, but in this case, we're just gonna do that, and I apologize that the Vitamix is a little out of the screen, because I kind kind of wasn't planning on using it. But anyway, okay, so there's that. We'll just be a second here. I'm just going to pat them down a little. I don't want to add too much water because we're going to be adding lemon juice. And whoop. There's always a whoop in the in each day. Getting the tops of those guys down there. Okay, I'm just gonna give it one more spin. I hear something. Okay, perfect. So yeah, so either way, you know, you can mash them, and that's the beauty too of cooking your own chickpeas, because what you can do is overcook them, and that's, you know, you don't really have any control over that when you're using them in a can. They're the perfect consistency every time when you're using them in a can, from a can. Okay, so that's going to be close enough for our purposes. So, oh my gosh, you know, I swear, every day is an adventure. It's, I was out in the greenhouse this morning. I was just looking at my lavender oil. And sure enough, you know, I always seem to have little excitements going on. And hey, Darlene, hi. Hey, so I'm out in the greenhouse, I'm watering, and I had sort of little palazzo pants, anyway, little short skirty type pants on. And sure enough, you know, and they were just long enough that a bee went up it at my pants this morning. And I'm just like, you know, first I was kind of like, I think I feel something. And then of course, you know, once you know there's something in the leg of your pants, thankfully it was halfway down my thigh. And, you know, that's the thing. So so then I'm like trying to get the pants, you know, opened up, flap them right, because they're baggy. And sure as shit, you know, he stung me. And so then I'm like ripping my pants off, and then I was hosing, right? I had the hose, I was watering in the greenhouse. And so I had the hose, and then I'm like pulling my pants down, and the hose is flying everywhere, and the water's spraying, and I hit the edge of my peas, my brand new pea plants, and they flew on the floor, and so I'm screaming and jumping around. Oh God. So it was like 20 minutes ago, so if I sound a little scattered, it was ever so much fun. Anyway, I didn't happen to have an onion out in the greenhouse, and the trick to these things, like okay, no problem, Darlene. I have reruns. Okay, we're squeezing lemon juice into this, in case you didn't notice. Yeah. So, anyways, so the trick to getting stung is to treat it right away, and whatever it is that you have. And I happen to have an onion that I wanted to rip out of the garden, and I always carry a little bottle of essential oil, the lavender essential oil, and so put that on, and it really, really does work right away. Like for stings, oh my gosh, well, it's great for all kinds of things, for rashes, stings, headaches. It's very soothing, very calming. Everyone knows what lavender does. Anyway, so I put some lavender oil on, and then I looked down at my pants, and he was just climbing out. Poor little thing, he was so scared, and all, you know, like disoriented, and didn't know what to do. And so I stuck a jar over him because I just wanted to make sure what he was, right? So that's another thing, very important. When you get bit or stung, if you can catch the little animal, you know, I mean, you don't have to hurt him. I didn't hurt him. I just I have so many canning jars, right? Because this spring had so many slugs that I covered all my baby plants with canning jars. So I've got a couple hundred canning jars out in the garden. And so I covered him with a canning jar just to trap him so I could see what he was, because that's so important. If you get stung or bit, or you don't know what happened, look around, because my husband got bit by a tick once, and the tick was in there. And so really, really important you know, capture and identify whatever that is, especially with ticks, because there's so many different kinds and very, very dangerous kinds, as we know. So yeah, so anyway, I stuck the jar over the little it was a black, I don't know, it was a black bee, like a black bumblebee. I don't know what kind that was. He was kind of fuzzy, so he wasn't like a wasp or anything. And it's got like a circle with a little dot in the middle. So there's no, on my leg, there's no stinger or anything like that. So anyway, yeah, so, you know, always such interesting mornings. And then, you know, yesterday I put myself yay, we have so much fun. Well, you know, we live in the forest and we have an acreage, and I'm always running around out in the bush doing odd things. Okay, so this is a little more watery than what I want. So I'm going to try something here and just push it up and try and get the liquid down. But then on the other hand, we're going to add nutritional yeast. So I didn't tell you that part. So that'll thicken it up too. So this is going to be like a deviled eggs without the eggs. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it like that because I really do want that cheesy flavor. And the nutritional yeast, oh, I forgot to tell you about the chickpeas. So the chickpeas are obviously protein, right? So they're really good for protein. They, oh my gosh. Yeah, they're just good for protein, balancing your blood sugar. They're like a regular bean, pretty much. B vitamins, all that kind of good stuff. So we're going to add, oh, I forgot to show you. Okay, we added lemon and we added some veganese. So that is really my favorite non-mayonnaise, you know, egg-free, you know, it's a really, really good one. This particular one is made with grapeseed oil. I usually get the regular one, but I just love the flavor. I find it very, very mild. To me, mayonnaise tastes so overpowering, and depending on the brand, really oily and sweet and stuff to me, depending on the brand. Like I never was, even as a kid, mayonnaise just turned me off. But I really, really like that. So, and sometimes, depending on the recipe, you really need mayonnaise. Okay, so spoons are out of my reach. So nutritional yeast, you know, as we know, right, it's got the B vitamins. Kind of has a pseudo B12. It's not really a B12 that actually comes in it, but they're usually fortified with a B12 because a lot of vegans use the nutritional yeast as a source of B12. But it does have B vitamins like B3 and stuff. Really helpful for your energy. It's yeah, it's really good for your colon health, for all kinds of things. Yeah, so you can see it's thickening up here a little bit. We're going to add a little bit of, we're going to add a little bit of mustard to it. I have a little bit of Dijon here, and again, my spoons are way over there. How come? So we're adding a little bit of mustard, which is really good too for you. We're going to add a little bit of garlic, granulated garlic. And I'm just looking at the comments. Yeah, no kidding. I'm really, I have so much fun. But, you know, it's all really fun stuff. You know, I don't just sit around, so I do tend to get into trouble. Okay, so we're just mixing this all around. I am going to add more. Oh, don't tell me I forgot to bring over the Himalayan sea salt. Okay, I'm going to add the black pepper now. And I'm going to add the cayenne as well, because I do like things spicy, and the cayenne's so good for you, good for circulation. It's an upwards herb. It opens up the blood vessels and the circulation. It's really good for headaches. It's really good for if you have any kind of edema or anything like in your ankles, or you know, swelling or anything like that. The cayenne is really quite amazing. I put a I just have to go get the salt and then I'll tell you the rest. Okay, so we're going to use Celtic sea salt. But back with the cayenne, I make different herbal salves for various conditions and to help with different things that are going on with people, whether it's, you know, general aches and pains or specific skin things, you know, just to balance things out, or, you know, backache, shoulder ache, all that kind of thing. I feel like there's something on my leg. I'm all paranoid now. I felt something there. Okay, so anyways, yeah, the cayenne, I've been putting the cayenne in certain of the formulas to help with the swelling, pain, and inflammation, because it really does open up the blood vessels and releases that inflammation and that swelling of the tissues, and yeah, brings in the circulation, and it aids in healing. Like, you can use cayenne to stop bleeding. It's been used for many, many things. Really good for the heart, obviously. It's very good for the heart, for circulation. And so that ended up being about a quarter of a cup of, might even be a third of a cup of the nutritional yeast, because I want it to be really thick and cheesy. Okay, so we have that. We did add the Himalayan sea salt, put everything in one pile. So I remember what we did. We did the garlic, we did the lemon. Okay, so we're just going to mix this really well. Yeah, so give this a little stir. And then you can put this on whatever you want. I am going to taste it. I'm so terrible for not tasting. That's Kate. Hi, Kate. How are you doing? Oh, nice to see you on here. Okay, so let's give it a little taste. And you have to always do everything to taste. If you're really into mustard, I know my husband's totally into mustard. I'm not really a mustard fan, so you can see I only put like half a teaspoon. But enough to just give it that little zip, you know. You know what? It was good that there's a reason for everything. I put too much water into the chickpeas to make it blend in the blender. So I added too much, an equal amount of too much nutritional yeast, which made it a really good consistency. It's still a little bit watery, but it's fine. And so by adding that extra nutritional yeast, it made it, gave it more of a cheesy flavor, and that is the absolute perfect amount of mustard and cayenne. Really, really nice. I will add a little bit more of the Himalayan or the Celtic sea salt, and I do like the Celtic sea salt better than, I mean, I like Himalayan salt too, but the Celtic sea salt is more of a minerally tasting salt. I mean, it doesn't really taste like minerals, but it's not as salty. And so you can use more, and you get all those trace minerals like seaweed, right? So seaweed's so good for you. Has so many minerals in it. And you know what? I really do love that cheesy flavor. So I am going to add a little bit more. So we're going to go up to definitely half a cup of this. So that must be like half a cup. And that's going to serve all your nutritional yeast needs for a very long time. It's so good for you. It's fine. And you're not going to be eating a bunch of these, right? So this is like a deviled egg. Hey, Judy. Hi. How you doing? This is going to be like a deviled egg, which you would take this to a gathering, which we're not allowed to do. But if you had a big family or you wanted to, you know what? You could just stick this in the fridge for a while because it has no egg, and it'll last for, oh, I don't know, I'd say at least a week. There's no dairy. There's no egg. There's no egg. There's no dairy. And so, yeah, so it should last just fine. And the other thing is, if you wanted to, I put lemon in for the effect, but if you wanted to add apple cider vinegar, that would help it to preserve. Okay, so these little flakes of the nutritional yeast are definitely thickening it up. I just want to get it super mixed in. And then we'll grab this spoon and have another. Very good. Okay, so what we're going to do, I want to put that lid back on. We're going to put this on stuff. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot. Oh my gosh. I guess a little, you know, I usually prep everything before I go out to the garden first thing. And I guess with my bee sting, I kind of forgot a few things. I forgot the paprika, but I'll go get it if I can remember where it is. Okay. Okay, so we're going to use cucumbers. Always wash your vegetables before you put them in the fridge. It just makes life so much easier. And especially now, we pretty much have to do that anyways. So what you could do, like I don't mind with, these are the fresh cucumbers that are, you know, kind of like springtime cucumbers. So the skins aren't too tough. If you want to, you can peel the skins. Or if you use, you know, the little baby ones or the English ones or whatever, the skins are thinner. Obviously, that's all stuff that you guys already know. But I'm just explaining why I'm not taking the skin off. Is because this is a pretty fresh one. Whoops. And cutting them too thin here. And so we're going to put this on and use these for little vegetable crackers. And oh, what else was I going to say? I was going to say, oh, what was I going to say? We're using these for crackers. Oh yeah, I have some radishes. We're going to use a few radishes too. So we'll make like a little smorgasbord of the different, you know, crockery types. And actually, I guess I'm going to have to cut into this a little bigger. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but, and, okay, so we'll do, actually I could do the radishes quite a bit thicker. Anyway, you know what, you just play around with this stuff and, you know, enjoy yourself with it. Yeah, so the cucumbers are really, really good, super refreshing, especially like today is going to be like so hot. This is a really good recipe for today. The cucumbers have potassium. They're really good for your blood pressure. Cucumbers are really excellent in a smoothie. Good for juicing, like they're very rehydrating. They're very rehydrating. And the other thing I'm going to use here too is my beautiful, what's left of my, I have a little piece of onion on it, my turnip from my garden. I have another great big one. I'm going to have to bring it in. Like I get so excited because I'm not a very good gardener. And I get so excited that I'm just going to trim this. When I have something, you know, really, really awesome that I never had before in the garden, and I tend to want to leave it there just so I can keep looking at it in the garden, but I think I better bring it in and eat it. Okay, there's a little bit of somebody was in there, so we're just going to cut that chunk off. Somebody was having a party in my turnip, and actually I always get confused whether they're turnips or rutabagas. I like them both, but this particular one, and I don't know if it's oh, black salt would make it taste more eggy. You know what? I've never used black salt. I'm going to have to look that up. Very good to know, Monique. Yeah, it's not anything I'm familiar with. So, wow. Thanks for sharing. That's what makes it so nice about doing this Facebook Live with you guys, is that we can all share information because, you know, we can't all know everything. Well, maybe some people can, but I can't. And so it's so nice to be able to share information, right? We all have our expertises, and I'm, you know, certified herbalist and natural health consultant, nutrition and all that, but I'm definitely not a cook. I just share these fun, healthy recipes and whatever information I know about them in the hopes that it's helpful and fun and useful, and, you know, that we have a good time. So that's the main thing. Okay, do I have anything else? Let's start putting some of these on here. And I have nice little rounds there, and I have not so nice rounds here. So that's okay. We're gonna just work with it anyway. Yeah, it's not gonna match very well, but that's okay. We don't care. Okay, so we're going to get yet. Where's my other spoon? Oh, there's my spoon. Okay. So another clean spoon. So we're just, that one's kind of skinny. We're just going to put these on here like a little bite. And these will be refreshing snacks. So the protein from the, you have to try and make it look nice. Sometimes I'm good at it, and sometimes I'm not so much. So the protein in the chickpea is going to give you the energy for the day, and then the, you know, depending on whether it's the radish or the cucumber or whatever you're using, is going to, which way should we do this? Okay, we'll put the cucumbers in the middle. I'm really not that creative. You know, I have a lot of food pictures on my Instagram, and I've got like, I don't know, 140 videos on my YouTube, all with food and lots of pictures. But I'm really I'm not artistic at all. I just kind of put it together and go, oh, you know, maybe it needs some red, or maybe it needs some green, and then try and find a food that matches that color. Yeah, because I'm not really that artistic. If you want to see something really beautiful with food, go to Sarah Williams' Facebook or Instagram. She's here in Port Alberni, and she posts some absolutely amazing food photos. She's an artist. She is an artist. She's an amazing artist. And yeah, there's it's pretty awesome. Like if you want to see beautiful pictures of vegan foods. And the other person that's really good is like not good, but has amazing recipes and super awesome food too, and beautifully displayed, is Lou's Forest. And she has her Instagram, and it is I think it's called Raw Juicy Living. I can't remember Sarah Williams's business name. But anyway, okay, so this is gonna be really cute. It's gonna be really cute. A really cute lunch. We'll put these, oh, maybe we'll go like that and put that like that. Okay, so you can just carry on with these if you want to. You can use the Breton gluten-free or whatever. You know, if you want to do crackers, you certainly can. We'll do a few crackers. And get these out here. They don't want to come out. The Bretons want to stay in the box. And yeah, Bretons are really, they have some really great flavors out. They've got black bean and garlic. This one is fine herbs. And so that's, you know, that's also an option. So we can put a couple of these here. This is only going to fit 2. My arrangement is, you know, and when you think that I'm fiddling around with food like this, and I'm always in a hurry, and you know, don't have time to fool around like that. When you sort of get a little creative with it, or try to, you know, like I say, I'm not that good at it, but it's like going into a little bit of a meditative state when you're playing with food, and so it's like a meditative, you know, thing, which is good for you, calming, peaceful, soothing, and also you're putting love into it, love into the food, and your energy does go into the food. They always say that. I mean, even the people that don't believe in anything, in any of these things, say that when you put, you know, if the cook's mad, you'll taste it, or something like that. Okay, okay. I know where the paprika is. Hang on. I'm trying to think. Where's the paprika? How could I forget? Okay. There we go. Okay. So we're just going to put just a dab. Dab. Dab for the traditional deviled egg look. That's such an old thing, right? was the thing that I don't know. I mean, probably anybody under 30 wouldn't have any idea what deviled eggs are, but, and I could be wrong. Oh, we need to add one more just to fill in that plate. There we go. Okay. Okay, perfect. You guys see that okay? Beautiful. Okay, so yeah, so awesome, healthy, easy snack lunch. And then if you wanted to, you know, you could even put it in lettuce, like on a lettuce bed or something like that. And whatever it is that you want to do. So that's easy. So the other thing I was going to show you, and I don't know, oh, I was going to show you a couple things. I was going to show you, okay, did I explain all that? I explained all that. I explained all the foods. Okay, is like you can't find nettles in Port Alberni, honestly. And nettles are so healthy for you. They're not only healthy for you, they're medicinal. They're a lifesaver. When they come out first thing in the spring, like March and April, you can have them like spinach. You can eat them like, steam them like spinach. They're like so concentrated in the highest amounts of vitamins and minerals. You know, as a tea, any time of the year, they're good for arthritis, circulation. I mean, you can't say enough about them. Nettles are super high in antioxidants. They've been studied for viruses, you know, for the viral, and useful for the viral, antibacterial. I can't say enough about it. There isn't, like, you can look it up. There's like pages and pages and pages of research on nettles. Anyway, really hard to find them in Port Alberni. So I managed to get some, and I put them in pots, and anybody that has nettles in the yard just thinks that's crazy because they really will take over like a mint. You know, they're like a mint. They actually are from the mint family. And these are stinging nettles. And so anyway, I put them in pots because I'm trying to baby them along to get them going in my yard. And anyway, they started going to seed. And so they are really, really invasive. And I do want lots because I want to harvest them and have my own. But I don't know exactly what their plans are, where they plan on going with spreading their seed. And so I just kind of wanted to chop off the little seeds and put the plants kind of where I want them. Anyway, I thought it was really beautiful to share with you. Now, just because these are fresh and we're way past spring, you know, we're second day of summer, it feels like. Get nettle tea. It's really, really, really valuable. Stick it in soups. It has the highest content of vitamins, minerals, amino acids. Like I said, it's good for arthritis. So if you're sticking it in soup, it's kind of like, it's like putting medicinal tea in your soup. And so, so I encourage you to buy some dried at the health food store, unless you know of a patch. Then you can gather them and dry them. I'm going to dry these and use them, and then I'm going to separate the seeds just so I have seeds so I can, you know, in case mine don't make it through the winter, I can regrow them. But I encourage you to, if you have any, they're good for allergies. Oh my gosh, allergies, arthritis, everything. Like, they're just absolutely amazing. And so I would stock up on I would get a big bad I'd get a big bad bag of nettles. And have them for this winter. I mean, you can certainly drink it in the summer and make a really nice cool tea. Doesn't taste like mint. It tastes like nothing. You know, kind of tastes like spinach water, I guess, maybe, but better. You know, it's a mild taste. And but get some for this winter because it is really inflammatory, good for arthritis, and it's antiviral. So my suggestion is to gather some and drink it, and you can drink lots of it. It's not a medicinal herb that you have to be careful of or cautious of. You can drink like half a cup of this every single day, and it is very antiviral. If you are fighting something, you know, you get a virus or a flu or whatever, for sure you could drink 3 cups of this a day during that time for the antiviral properties. And then of course I would add other antiviral herbs with that, you know, depending on what's going on for you, because each person has their own genetic I don't want to use the word weakness, but you know, place of susceptibility. That's a good one. So each person has their own place in their body of susceptibility where it's not quite as strong as the other parts. And so you would put with this antiviral, and for me, I have a lung issue, and so I would add mullein, would be a really good one to add to this. I would add mullein, depending on what else is going on. Maybe colt's foot is really good also for coughs, and you know, all the different herbs that are for the different things. And then for me too, I have to genetic predisposition. Yes, your genetic predisposition. I should know that. I taught that for a long time. Like thyroid is one of my little you know, tendencies, right? So that's why I'm really always conscious of the seaweed and incorporating seaweed into my diet as much as I can. And the other thing is a little bit of a blood sugar, you know, imbalance. And so also to do with the watching your proteins, mixing your proteins, so that you're not spiking your blood sugar with, you know, especially simple carbs, but anything that's sugary or that kind of thing. And I know I've said this in the videos before that that's why they traditionally served wine with cheese and peanuts with beer. Is because the beer has the well, the sugars, the starches mostly, and those things, yeasty things. But anyway, they can throw off your blood sugar, and the wine, of course, has sugar in it, and so it can throw off your blood sugar. So if you put a protein with that, it balances it. So I'm not the only time you would not ever. I'm just watching the fruit flies fly around. The only time you wouldn't use a protein is especially with a fruit. You would just never do that because the fruit's going to digest much faster and going to start to ferment. And if it's working with a protein in the stomach, those are two different enzymes and different functions in acid, because you're going to need the acid to digest the protein. And anyway, just don't mix fruit with your protein. That's like the one thing. Excuse me, losing my voice again, because I forgot to bring a glass of water over here. What a day. Anyways, okay, so so that's the nettles, and I wanted to show you this too real quick. Firewood's in season. Fireweed's in season, and I picked this little guy yesterday, but he's wilted already. I guess they don't like being picked and put in water. But fireweed's kind of like the other herb of the day. Totally edible. The plant is totally edible. In the spring, it is, you can eat the young shoots. You can actually strip it down and use the inside as kind of like an asparagus. It has all kinds of flavonoids. It has beta carotene. You can take the leaves off, and they're really good for stomach issues, like just balancing your stomach acid, and they're really good for skin. They're a really good plant to have on hand. The other thing they use, you know how it turns all really fluffy and kind of like a concentrated dandelion in the summer when the flowers dry off. It's a really good fire starter too. So yeah, so check into fireweed because it's really good stuff. It's a little tough right now to actually eat. You can put the flowers in salad. Oh look, here we go. Except the flowers are a little wilted, but let's do it anyway because guess what? These flowers actually match the turnips skins. Okay, so there you go. So check out the fireweed, and for sure add these things because this is medicine. It's not just a pretty flower on the deviled eggs. Oh my gosh. See, you just have to go with it. Sometimes I'm a little slow. If I'd have thought of this sooner, I would have acted like I meant to do it. Oh my gosh, sometimes I'm a little slow, but you know what? We all learn at our own pace. And That's why it's good to be in a group, and whether even if it's a virtual group online, and to work together as we learn things. Oh, that one has to go right there. Okay, so fireweed. Oh, we'll investigate that more later because we're kind of out of time. Oh yeah, let's do some pepper on there too. Okay, that's the only thing I know. I'm nowhere near as talented as Sarah and Liz, but it's like it needed more color. Okay, so there we are, and enjoy. It's really healthy, and thank you for hanging out with me while I make lunch. And we'll see you guys tomorrow at 11. And yeah, it's really good. So I guess it's the trick. The only thing I have to add to this, the trick is to balance your blender with the amount of liquid. And you know, it all depends. I mean, if I had taken more time, I would have just scraped the little garbanzo beans into the middle and turned it on again instead of adding more. I was just trying to hurry so that I wasn't doing that forever, and you guys were just hanging out watching me scrape chickpeas around. Okay, see you tomorrow. Thank you for coming and watching, and that was really fun. And check out the rest, for anybody new, check out my YouTube channel and my Instagram. Okay, have a great day. See you tomorrow.